Stop for a moment. Most people will scroll past this. Most people will click away in the next 10 seconds because they aren't ready for the truth. But if you are someone who feels like they are destined for more, if you feel a fire in your gut that the world has been trying to extinguish, then watch this video until the very end. What I'm about to share isn't just motivation, it is a blueprint for the impossible. By the time this video finishes, you will not look at your obstacles the same way again. You will realize that your greatest disadvantage is actually your secret weapon. Stay with me, because the final secret to mastering the light only comes to those who aren't afraid to walk through the dark. The luck myth, and the hard work reality. There is no doubt that opportunity comes with luck. We've all seen it. The right place, the right time, the right person. But luck is a spark, hard work is the fuel. Without the fuel, the spark dies in an instant. To succeed, you have to work with a relentless intensity that makes luck irrelevant. Always do the impossible. Challenge yourself every single day. Do exactly what people say cannot be done. Why? Because the word impossible is just an opinion held by people who have given up on themselves. 2. The truth about success. Contrary to what the schools tell you, successful people are often not the most intelligent, the most talented, or the most highly educated. The world is full of brilliant people who never achieve anything because they lack the big idea and the obsessive desire to complete it. You might feel like you don't have enough talent. You might feel like you aren't smart enough to compete. But listen closely. Successful people are often those who do not believe in their current selves. They are humble enough to know they need to grow, but bold enough to believe their vision can change the world. Real story, the man who never quit. Think of Colonel Sanders. At age 65, he was broke, living in a tiny house with a $105 Social Security check. He had a big idea, a chicken recipe. He was rejected 1,009 times. He didn't have a fancy education or youth on his side. He had a desire to complete his mission. He did the impossible, at an age when most people are waiting to die. 3. Mastering the light through the dark. Those who fear the dark will never become masters of the light. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a master of your craft, you cannot fear the seasons of darkness. You cannot fear the loneliness of the late nights or the silence of being misunderstood. Real story, the beauty in the scars. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist who was stripped of everything and thrown into the darkness of Nazi concentration camps. He lost his family, his dignity, and his freedom. But in that darkness, he discovered that he could still heal wounds. He helped his fellow prisoners find meaning in their suffering. He proved that those who are capable of healing wounds always make their place in history. He survived because he understood that he who has not suffered loss does not know what is called benefit. He turned his loss into a psychological breakthrough that has healed millions of people since. The alchemy of benefit. Loss is not your enemy. Loss is your teacher. If you have lost your job, your relationship, or your confidence, do not weep for the loss. Use it. Use that void to create space for something better. You cannot appreciate the benefit of the summit if you haven't felt the thin, cold air of the valley. Success is about preventing the abuse of your potential. It's about taking your scars and turning them into stars. The closing and call to action. The path to greatness is open to anyone willing to be unrealistic, anyone willing to work while others sleep, and anyone brave enough to heal while they are still hurting. You have the idea. Now, find the desire to finish it. If this message hit home for you today, and you're ready to start doing the impossible, then like this video right now to show your commitment. If you want to stay on this journey with us and transform your mindset, subscribe to the channel and join our community of masters. Don't just watch, take action.
The alchemy of ambition. Why your will is greater than your circumstances. Friends, family, and fellow dreamers, we often look at the summit of a mountain and marvel at the person standing there. We assume they were born with better lungs, stronger legs, or perhaps a private helicopter that dropped them at the peak. But the truth of success is far more gritty, far more human, and far more accessible than we are led to believe. As we navigate this journey, we must acknowledge a fundamental truth. Opportunity may be sparked by luck, but it is fueled by the relentless fire of hard work. Luck is a door that opens briefly. Hard work is the strength required to walk through it and stay there. 1. The myth of impossible. People love to tell you what cannot be done. They do this because your ambition holds a mirror to their own complacency. When someone says, "That's impossible," what they are actually saying is, "I cannot imagine myself doing that." Challenge yourself to do the impossible. The history of human progress is nothing more than a collection of impossible things being achieved by people who refused to listen. It was impossible to fly until the Wright brothers did it. It was impossible to run a 4-minute mile until Roger Bannister did it. It was impossible to put the world's knowledge in your pocket until a group of dreamers built the smartphone. 2. The great equalizer, big ideas and desire. There is a common misconception that the most successful people are the ones with the highest IQs, the most prestigious degrees, or the most natural talent. I tell you today, talent is cheap. Persistence is gold. Success belongs to those who possess big ideas and an unshakable desire to see them through. You mentioned that successful people are those who do not believe in themselves. While that may sound contradictory, there is a profound truth hidden there. Humility is the precursor to growth. If you believe you are already perfect, you stop learning. If you doubt your current state but believe in your vision, you will work harder than anyone else to bridge that gap. 3. The power of healing and loss. You cannot know the warmth of the sun if you have never shivered in the cold. As the saying goes, he who has not suffered loss does not know what is called benefit. We see this in the stories of the world's greatest leaders. Those who have experienced deep pain, poverty, or rejection are often the ones most capable of healing wounds in society. They make their place in history not because they were powerful, but because they were empathetic. They turned their scars into maps for others to follow. Those who fear the dark will never become masters of the light. You must be willing to walk through the valley of uncertainty if you ever want to stand on the plateau of peace. 4. Real stories of the unlikely success. Let these stories serve as your evidence that the impossible is merely a starting point. The man who failed into greatness. Before he became one of the greatest presidents in history, Abraham Lincoln lost his job, failed in business, and lost 8 different elections. He suffered through deep depression and personal loss. Had he stopped at any of those impossible hurdles, the world would be a darker place. He didn't have a PhD. He had a big idea and a desire to heal a nation. The woman who refused to be silenced. J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on welfare, struggling with clinical depression. Her big idea, a story about a wizard boy, was rejected by 12 different publishers. They told her it was too long and children wouldn't like it. She didn't have luck on her side. She had a manuscript and the grit to keep knocking on doors. The scientist who was too slow, Albert Einstein, didn't speak until he was 4 years old. His teachers said he would never amount to much. He wasn't the most educated in the traditional sense of fitting into a system. He was a dreamer who saw the universe differently. Your call to action. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for someone to give you permission. Do not wait until you feel smart enough or talented enough. 1. Embrace the dark. Face your fears head on. 2. Suffer the loss. Use your failures as tuition for your future success. 3. Heal the world. Use your platform, no matter how small, to make things better for others. Success is not a destination. It is the process of becoming the person who can handle the weight of their dreams. Go out there and prove the world wrong. Do the impossible. Friends, colleagues, and seekers of greatness, we stand today at the intersection of what is and what could be. We often speak of success as if it were a finished product, a trophy sitting on a shelf, polished and static. But the truth is that success is a living, breathing organism. It is birthed in the dark, fed by struggle, and sustained by a refusal to accept the world as it is handed to you. There is a fundamental law of human achievement. Opportunity may be a gift of luck, but endurance is a choice of the soul. Luck might open a door, but if you haven't spent your nights training to run, you will never make it through the corridor. To succeed, you must work with a ferocity that makes the lucky look lazy. The architecture of the impossible. We are told from childhood to be realistic, but realistic is just a polite word for average. Always do the impossible. Challenge yourself to do exactly what people say cannot be done. Why? Because the boundaries of the possible are constantly being redrawn by people who were too stubborn to look at the map. Consider the story of Sylvester Stallone. Before Rocky, he was so poor he had to sell his dog for $40 just to buy food. He had a speech impediment and a look that Hollywood executives rejected. Scripts he wrote were turned down dozens of times. When a studio finally wanted Rocky, they offered him a fortune for the script, but they didn't want him to star in it. He was broke, but he refused to compromise. He chose the impossible path of holding out until they let him act. He didn't just want money. He wanted to prove that his vision was inseparable from his identity. He went from being a man who couldn't afford dog food to an international icon because he dared to challenge the impossible standards of an entire industry. 2. The paradox of the underqualified. We often think the winners are the valedictorians, the trust fund babies, or the genetically gifted. But look closer. Successful people are often not the most intelligent, the most talented, or the most educated in the room. The world is full of educated failures. True success belongs to those with big ideas and the obsessive desire to complete them. You mentioned a profound thought. Successful people are those who do not believe in themselves. This isn't about a lack of confidence. It's about intellectual humility. If you think you know everything, you can learn nothing. The most successful people in history, like Soichiro Honda, failed repeatedly. Honda was rejected by Toyota for a job as an engineer. He was uneducated by their standards. Instead of believing he was enough, he used his self-doubt to fuel his curiosity. He went around collecting scrap metal to build his own engines. He didn't believe in his current self. He believed in the self he was becoming. 3. To master the light, you must befriend the dark. Those who fear the dark will never become masters of the light. In the pursuit of success, you will face the dark. This is the period of isolation, where your friends doubt you, your bank account is empty, and your internal voice is a whisper of, "Give up." Think of Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in the darkness of a prison cell. He suffered the ultimate loss of freedom, time, and family. Most people would have emerged from that darkness, filled with a desire for revenge. But Mandela understood that he who has not suffered loss does not know what is called benefit. He used his suffering to learn the language of his oppressors. He healed his own wounds so that he could later heal the wounds of a fractured nation. He became a master of the light because he refused to let the darkness swallow his humanity. IV. Success as a shield against abuse. As you climb, you must understand a vital truth. Power and success are tools, and in the wrong hands, tools become weapons. To truly succeed is to use your strength to prevent the abuse of others. History is written by those who used their success to protect the vulnerable. Sir Nicholas Winton was an ordinary stockbroker. He didn't have fame, but he had a big idea and the desire to act. During World War II, he organized the rescue of 669 children from Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia. He didn't do it for credit. In fact, he told no one for 50 years. This is the ultimate success. Using your impossible will to create a sanctuary for others. To heal wounds is to ensure that the history you make is one of progress, not just profit. V. The alchemy of loss. Do not fear loss. Loss is the sandpaper of the soul. It removes the rough edges of arrogance and leaves behind the polished diamond of character. If you have never lost, you are fragile. If you have never been broken, you don't know how to build. The man who has lost everything and started again is 1,000 times more dangerous to the status quo than the man who has always won. He knows that failure is just a word, not a destination. Your final charge. Today, I challenge you. 1. Seek the impossible. If your goals don't scare you, they aren't big enough. 2. Work the hours. Luck is a ghost. Hard work is the flesh and bone that gets things done. 3. Heal as you climb. Do not step on others to get higher. Reach down and pull someone up. 4. Master the dark. When you find yourself in the valley of loss, remember that you are simply gathering the materials to build your palace of benefit. You are the author. You are the architect. You are the master of your light. Now go out and do what they said could never be done. If you found strength in these words and this message resonated with your journey, please hit the like button on this video. To join our community of dreamers and doers, and to ensure you never miss a spark of inspiration, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue to share these stories of triumph and resilience. Keep pushing, keep dreaming, and we will see you in the next one. Would you like me to create a shorter, high-impact version of this speech for a social media reel or short?